an unusual device. Is it some sort of pump?
I am Flood, glad to meet you.
It's Flood. If all you care about is the answer, there you go, it's Flood. Even if you don't only care about the answer, looking at my analytics, by now you've clicked off anyway, so I could literally sit here and read a book for the rest of the video and no one would even notice. Anyway, my least favourite part of all Mario games is the platforming. I've just never thought Mario feels all that good to control. He has moves I like, such as the backflip and the spin jump, but he feels clunky, his movement is delayed, and his landings are slippery, keeping momentum for just a bit too long to be able to stop when I actually want him to. It'll be no surprise then that my favourite Mario games are the ones with the least platforming like Thousand Year Door or Superstar Saga, or the ones which play on the platforming tropes like Yoshi's Island, and finally, to get to what we're actually talking about,
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo!
Sunshine's particular addition to the formula is the aforementioned Flash Liquidizer Ultra Dowsing Device, or FLUDD for short. The FLUDD has various nozzles which each add different aspects to the gameplay, such as the puzzle solving or combat with the spray nozzle, platforming with the hover and rocket nozzles, or speed boost with the turbo nozzle. While they're each fun in their own way, I definitely have a favourite nozzle, and it's the primary reason I like the game. The rocket nozzle is easily my least favourite of all the nozzles. While certainly not the worst nozzle in terms of usage, I just never enjoy using it. I don't like how long it takes to charge, or how little control you have while in the air after using it. It also doesn't work in all situations, mainly when getting out of the water. Every time I use this nozzle, I just end up frustrated. It gets a lot of use, especially in the later areas of the game, but whenever I have to switch to it, I just wish I could use the hover nozzle instead. The turbo nozzle is fun, but almost entirely useless. Besides limited uses, breaking open doors and accessing secret levels, there's rarely a reason to equip this nozzle. It's certainly enjoyable to zip around the areas at high speed, and it can make some of the blue coin collections easier, but besides that it's practically pointless. The only benefit is that whenever you need to use it, you'll never be far from a box to switch back to the hover nozzle as soon as you're done. The FLUDD spray nozzle is the core around which the game was built, and provides an interesting change in combat from the other Mario games, though you're still going to mostly be jumping on enemies to kill them. Certain enemies are wanting to be sprayed down before you can kill them, like the bloopers or Peachy Piranha, but its main usage is cleaning up the goop and solving puzzles. It's arguably the most important tool, and it's the only nozzle which you have at all times, but it can get a bit bland after a while. The game does change it up every now and again though, like in the Mecha Bowser boss fight, which can reinvigorate its fun. Finally we reach my favourite of all, the hover nozzle. This is the nozzle you'll use most after the spray nozzle, and you'll be almost halfway through the game before you unlock a different one to use. At first this might seem a bit boring, you can't gain much height using it, eventually it just gives out, and you can only use it once in the air. Primarily you'll just use it to cover slightly more distance when jumping gaps. You can also use the hover nozzle for many of the same uses as the spray nozzle, though that's more of a bonus than anything. The reason I love it though, is because it allows you to save your mistakes. Mario has, as I mentioned earlier, always felt kind of bad to control, but the hover nozzle makes up for a lot of the issues I have. It's incredibly easy to slide off the edge of a platform just after landing, and in a lot of situations that immediately leads to your death. The hover nozzle, however, is a quick fix in these situations, allowing you to arrest your momentum and slide back onto the platform. This doesn't just keep you alive in the moment, it can save multiple minutes of your time depending on where you are. The less downtime there is, the more fun you can have, and falling to your death isn't fun. I'm not saying that the FLUDD is perfect though, far from it. The underwater sections, especially cleaning the eel's teeth, are legitimately terrible entirely down to the usage of the FLUDD. Having to swap out the nozzles by finding a specific box in each level sucks too. If you were able to switch at will after unlocking the nozzles, it'd be more enjoyable, though I understand it would have required more specific level planning to work properly. What it does do though, is make the platforming in Mario legitimately fun in my eyes, something which the other games don't manage to do. I'm sure then you'll have worked out that I hate the more traditional platforming levels in Sunshine, where upon entering Shadow Mario takes the FLUDD and leaves you to finish the level without. I hate them. They completely suck the fun out of the game for me, and are single-handedly the reason why I've never actually finished the game. I could do it, I'm sure, and eventually I will, but if they weren't required, then I would have beaten it 18 years ago. I always end up in a situation where I have no levels left to complete except for this type, and I just don't care enough to put myself through it. The game doesn't need these levels as it stands well enough without them, nor does it mesh them well into the world, with there being sections where you're teleported to some nebulous other realm devoid of the features of the area outside, and nor does it train the player well enough to enjoy them. The entire rest of the game is built around using the Flood. Its controls and timings become ingrained within you, and you also come to rely on it as a core part of your platforming toolkit. Removing it simply presents the player with a challenge they aren't prepared for, and one which pales in comparison to its more traditionally dedicated brethren. It's akin to feeding me my favourite meal, but every few bites slapping me across the face. At the very least, what their existence does do is make it even easier to point out why I like the Flood. There are other reasons why I like Sunshine so much too, but they're not the focus of this video, so I'll just cover a few of them quickly. The music is fantastic. When I think of Mario, the music I think of is invariably from Sunshine, with each track feeling distinct but cohesive both in terms of the level and the world overall, besides the secret level music that is, though that's meant to feel different from everything else and it does its job perfectly well. The world is also the best design of any Mario game, with each making sense and standing out in their own ways, with my personal favourite being Rico Harbour. I know there are people out there who don't like Sunshine. To them I say, play a different Mario game then. I know there are some people who like the floodless levels in Sunshine, and I think you're insane. Part of me was worried when the collection came out, in case my love of Sunshine was just nostalgia, but playing through it recently has proved that not to be the case. Sunshine is always going to be my favourite Mario game, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. Subscribe, check out my Patreon, thanks for watching, I'm gonna go finish my book. Special thanks to my board members Heaven Over Hell, Justin Wood, Hobbs, and Koopy Vegeta.